Welcome, weary souls, to the Twilight Zone of the mind. I am Miss Nightmare, your spectral guide into the labyrinth of terror. Tonight we venture beyond the veil of existence, into realms where shadows whisper and the dead refuse to rest. Prepare to have your sanity challenged as we unravel 5 chilling tales of the afterlife. In the heart of a quiet suburb, nestled amidst manicured lawns and white picket fences, resided Eleanor, a woman whose life was as gentle as the summer breeze. Her passing, though peaceful, cast a long, somber shadow over her family. As a tribute to her memory, her room remained untouched, a frozen tableau of her life. Emily, her granddaughter, a young woman with a heart as pure as driven snow, often found solace in the familiar scent of her grandmother's room. One evening, as darkness crept in, casting elongated shadows that danced menacingly, Emily felt an inexplicable chill. Her gaze was drawn to a corner, a shadowy recess that seemed to pulsate with an otherworldly energy. Slowly, a shape emerged from the obscurity. A figure, hunched and skeletal, its eyes twin beacons of an unearthly light. It was as if the very fabric of reality had frayed, allowing a glimpse into a realm beyond comprehension. Emily's blood ran cold as the creature tilted its head, and its gaze, cold and predatory, locked onto hers. Time seemed to stand still as the entity's lips curled into a silent, chilling smile. A scream, raw and primal, escaped Emily's throat. The house seemed to shudder in response. When morning painted the sky with hues of pink and gold, the creature was gone, vanished without a trace. But the memory of those glowing eyes, cold and indifferent, remained etched into her soul, a haunting spectre that refused to fade. Daniel, a young man with a penchant for the mundane, worked the graveyard shift at a call center, a place where the only echoes were the monotonous clicks of keyboards and the occasional muffled sobs of lonely callers. One night, a call unlike any other shattered the monotony. A voice, raspy and filled with a desperation that chilled to the bone, whispered, "Help me, I'm trapped." Intrigued and terrified in equal measure, Daniel tried to decipher the caller's location, but the line was a tempest of static, punctuated by the woman's desperate gasps. Days later, a news report, a stark and unforgiving intrusion into his reality, revealed the grim truth. A woman had been found alive, buried in a shallow grave within the confines of a local cemetery. The police suspected a sinister ritual gone awry. Daniel was haunted by the realization that he might have been the last lifeline to a woman fighting for her life in the cold, dark earth. The echo of her terrified pleas became a constant companion, a chilling reminder that darkness lurks not only outside, but within the depths of the human soul. Sarah, a young woman with a spirit as bright as the morning sun, moved into a Victorian house that whispered of forgotten secrets. It was a house with character, or so the realtor had charmingly put it. Sarah, however, soon discovered that the house had more than just character. It had a sinister soul. Doors creaked open of their own volition, as if beckoned by an invisible hand. Shadows danced in the corners of her vision, mocking her sanity. But it was in the reflection of her own image where the true horror resided. One morning, as she prepared to face the day, the familiar contours of her face were suddenly distorted. A spectral overlay, a ghostly apparition materialized before her eyes. Its features were indistinct, a haunting void where eyes should have been. Terror, cold and absolute, seized her. The creature in the mirror seemed to lean forward, its spectral form pressing against the glass. A guttural, inhuman sound escaped its nothingness, a chilling symphony of despair. Sarah stumbled backward, her mind racing, her heart pounding like a trapped bird. The image wavered, then disappeared, leaving behind a shattered reflection and a woman paralyzed by fear. From that moment on, the house was no longer a place of refuge, but a prison of terror. Every glance in the mirror became a gamble with sanity, a heart-stopping confrontation with the unseen. The old cottage stood as a sentinel of forgotten times, its weathered exterior hinting at secrets buried deep within its heart. For Emily and Daniel, it was to be a haven, a place where they would nurture the nascent life growing within Emily. Yet, as the days turned into weeks, a creeping dread began to cast its shadow over their anticipated joy. Soft whispers like ethereal echoes danced through the night, carried on the wings of silence. Shadows, grotesque and elongated, seemed to writhe and contort in the corners of the nursery, their movements as fluid and menacing as a stalking predator. Emily, her maternal instincts heightened by the hormonal storm within her, felt a growing unease. One night, a night thick with an oppressive silence, Emily was drawn to the nursery by an inexplicable pull. The room was bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, casting eerie patterns on the walls. As her eyes adjusted to the dim light, she saw it, a child, a spectral figure standing at the foot of the empty crib. Its eyes, two pools of otherworldly blue, seemed to pierce through the veil of reality. Terror, raw and primal, seized her. The child, or whatever it was, turned its head slowly, its gaze locking onto hers. A chilling silence descended upon the room, broken only by the rapid thump of Emily's heart. With a scream that shattered the stillness, she fled the room, her mind a whirlwind of fear and confusion. The days that followed were a blur of disbelief and terror. The child in the shadows had become a constant presence, a spectral tormentor haunting their dreams and waking hours. The cottage, once a symbol of hope and new beginnings, had transformed into a prison of fear. Curiosity, that insatiable demon, lured them into the depths. An abandoned underground tunnel, a forgotten scar on the earth's skin, promised secrets and adventure. 5 friends, bound by the reckless abandon of youth, ventured into the inky blackness, their flashlights feeble against the encroaching darkness. As they delved deeper, the temperature dropped, an icy tendril wrapping around their senses. The air grew thick with the scent of decay, a pungent perfume of the underworld. The tunnel seemed to stretch on endlessly, a serpentine passage into the unknown. And then the earth trembled beneath their feet. A gaping maw opened, swallowing them whole in a maelstrom of rock and fear. When consciousness returned, they found themselves in a cavern, a cathedral of stone and shadow. But this was no natural formation. The walls pulsed with an otherworldly light, casting eerie shadows that danced and writhed. And then they saw them, the inhabitants of this subterranean realm, figures, tall and gaunt, with eyes that burned like embers in the darkness. Their skin was pale, almost translucent, and their movements were fluid, almost ethereal. Panic clawed at their hearts. The only sound was the heavy, labored breathing of 5 terrified souls. The creatures, or whatever they were, moved towards them, their eyes fixed on their prey. The tunnel, once a path of adventure, had become a tomb, a claustrophobic coffin of terror. And so, we descend back into the world of light, bearing witness to the horrors that lurk in the shadows. Remember, the night is a canvas painted with fear, and the echoes of the dead may linger longer than you think. Sleep tight if you dare. Thank you for joining me on this terrifying journey. If you dare, subscribe for more spine-chilling stories. Sleep tight if you can.